Welcome back to 90 Seconds Plus, and today we've got a special guest, Councillor and Restauranteur, Allan Arnold. Hey Al, or Big Al as we prefer to call him. Hey Big Al.
Hey, how are you, Mike?
So tell us what's going on. So give us a little bit of background on Allan Arnold, the Councillor and the businessman.
Well, it's I don't know where to start, to be honest. I've been in business for quite some time, 45 years or more.
Yep.
Been in the restaurant businesses for 23 years now.
Yep.
The last year or three has been a bit tougher than I've probably experienced much of my business life. I've went through the 87 stock market crash. I was already in business then.
Yep.
GFC, of course. But this would probably be the worst time. But you're seeing that now, you know, in the press and things. And I think it's just a matter of time, and things will get better. I think there's been some good things in the media recently. I mean, the interest rate cut the other day. It was only 0.2, 0.20,
Yep.
0.25.
The TY securing the 20 years. That's
20 years at TY, definitely for this region.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they're going to wind their bloody production back a wee bit with the power
at the moment.
Power shortages. But
it's good for the region, though.
You know, there could well be another interest rate cut before Christmas. Yep. It's highly on the cards, and you know, if I was going to bet, I'd say it could even be as much as 1.25 before Christmas, which will help boost things along. I think there's been enough hurt in the economy, enough pain in business and things, and with people's living standards and bits and pieces. It's been a very tough time.
Yep.
And
the city's going gangbusters though, isn't it? We've got we've got the Langlands, we've got Invercargill Central's finished now. We've got a prime restaurant in Invercargill Central. Free plug here, free plug Banh, isn't it? Tell us about Banh and what the meaning of the word name. So we've got the Vietnamese restaurant.
Yeah, we've got the Banh restaurant here. Buster Crabb and Ziff, of course, but Banh we opened on 16th of March 2023.
Yep.
Wasn't probably the best time to open a business, but of course, when you go into these things, you go in a year or two prior to that, and we're probably when we first looked at it, it wasn't a bad time in business.
Yep.
It's been a bit tough because it's taken a wee bit longer for this complex to be filled.
Yep.
It's coming along, and it's just a matter of time, and it's just a matter of sort of keeping things tight. The Vietnamese thing, the connection is I've been to Vietnam 8 times personally myself. Vietnamese wife, Vietnamese children.
Yes. Yes, you're doing your bit. You see, there's talk around the world that our population's on decline, but you're doing your bit. Left it late in life, but you're doing your bit. Two children. That's
to be fair, I probably thought it was going to pass me by. Yep. That part of life. But I've done a lot of things in my life, but that's something I'd never experienced. But now I'm experiencing it and loving it. And I guess it'll probably see me out, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Next another 20 years. And I'm probably still working for another 20 years. I've still got to put kids through school, kids through kindy, then kids through school, and oh my God, So I'm going to be working for a wee while longer. That's okay, that's all good.
Yep. What about council? So it's been interesting this term. There's been a few bumps on the road, but overall it's been certainly a more cohesive and more of a team working together most of the time. We certainly have some bits and pieces in between, but otherwise I think it's been quite good.
I'll definitely say that at the start of this term, there was really a feeling of positivity. It was really a feeling that you had a group of people here that were who wanted to see things get done.
Yep.
And things are getting done, and you're right. I mean, Invercargill is looking great. There's so many good things. The Langlands is a great asset.
Yep.
The new Distinction Hotel is going to be awesome.
Yep,
the tower on the corner here, where we are here at Banh, fantastic. I mean, the town looks completely different, and there's a completely different vibe here. And I think things are going to really take off. And I think there's a few other things in the pipeline too. I don't want to mention too much, but you hear whispers as you do in a small community, and there's a lot more happening. But when the Distinction opens, I mean, that's a 150-room hotel just over the road there, in a building that was a vintage 1965, and probably wasn't good for a lot of things, to be fair, but it's being utilised and made into a remarkable hotel. And all those people, they'll be spilling out into Invercargill at night time, looking for places to eat, dine, drink, things to look at, art galleries, whatever.
During the day and some of the activities down here.
Yeah, no, it's looking great. We experienced a lot of tourism here, after COVID, with New Zealanders travelling through here, and I guess that's something that I don't think it's the same now. I think so many people are travelling overseas in bits and pieces, but I think there's probably a time when that's going to build again. And it's things like this. I know that the distinction group, I think they organise tours, as I think the ILT do too. I mean, the amount of conferences that we're having here is a phenomenal thing, and that's a thing that probably a lot of people don't realise. But every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, most of the accommodation in Invercargill was completely booked out. And last week there was an engineer, a trades type thing on, and it was just. And that makes us busy. It makes town busy.
Yeah. We're very lucky down here for the amount of conferences and functions we get down here. We certainly punch above our weight.
And that's thanks to the ILT for that at the moment. And soon you're going to have Jeff doing the same thing over at this distinction. And it's just it's fantastic from Invercargill.
There's benefits being at the bottom of the country, isn't there?
Well. Certainly after COVID there was, because so many New Zealanders hadn't been here and they couldn't go anywhere else, and they were all coming here and going to Stewart Island, but come via Invercargill, and that's what Invercargill is. It's a hub of probably the best part of New Zealand.
Because you can go to Te Anau, you can do Milford and all that from here, Buildland, and then you can go the other way to Catlins as well.
And
the other way to Riverton.
That's right. You think about it. 2 hours in every direction. You've got the nicest things of New Zealand. Manapori, the coast, Manapori, Te Anau, Queenstown, Cromwell, Alexandra, Dunedin, Catlins, like you just said. We are right in the middle of the best of New Zealand. And what I do notice, because in my, as I drive the courtesy coach every day, pretty much, I get to talk to so many people, and it's amazing to see how many people have actually moved here. And that's something that I don't know if people actually realise this, but there's quite a few people that have moved here from the likes of Auckland, Hawke's Bay, lots of things. They're moving here and they're living here. And you just don't notice it. You just don't realise that suddenly these are people who have just moved here and they're loving it.
And they're loving it.
Queen's Park. It's it's one of the best parks in New Zealand. 2 years running, I think. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. You want to go mountain biking, 10 minutes from the beach. It's very centralised. We're very lucky.
Second big. I mean, it's not a big claim, but it's the second biggest beach in New Zealand. Grand Prix track. We used to, I think we've got 2 huge golf tournaments here this year, and these are national golf tournaments I'm talking about at Invercargill course out at Restauranteur.
Well, you're on the sort of car thing. Then we've got the Mustang convention coming up in October. So it's the big show at the ILT Stadium, and then there's a weekend of enthusiasts.
I mean,
in the city.
When you talk about that, I mean, getting back to Invercargill in general, what the HWR guys have done with the motorcycle museum and the transport world. I mean, it's absolutely it's so difficult to explain, but it's such a big thing that they've done, and they've actually made this. In my view, I reckon we're going to be looked on with the Borough Munro as well. It's the classic motorcycle car venue of New Zealand. We are. It's just. They've transformed us into something that we've always done, because people have always driven around the plots in Invercargill, because I see them every night as well, and it's still happening. But the amount of classic cars here, that are in people's garages is just outstanding. I don't know. There wouldn't be any other community in New Zealand that would have as many.
I think a head of population. I think we definitely have got a few cars.
I know. So that's all good. I mean, what we quite need, to organise something, where they actually have a get together once a month. Everybody gets their old cars out or something. You park down D Street or something, Angle Park all the way down D Street. Have food stores on the footpath. Have all the food shops all open, and just have a place here where you can basically, you and I, we can all walk along and look at people's vehicles.
There was that Americana thing some years ago, but we sort of lost that as a city.
We did lose that.
Maybe reinvented that ourselves.
There's one up in the North Island, a beach hop.
Right.
And every year I know several people that drive up there, and it's way. I think it's Napier. So that's quite a large distance to travel when you're old car, but the idea is to do something here that everybody from up there travels down here. It's just amazing how many things are on, and I often even don't hear it. I've got my old ear to the ground a wee bit, but often you don't hear about these things till they're on. I start talking to people, and they say, well, where are you guys from? And we're from Auckland, and I'm from Christchurch, I'm from Cromwell, and we're down here for the such and such, and crikey. And there's 600 or 700 people here for a conference, and they all have something at Transport World or something on the Friday night, but for the Wednesday and Thursday they're out at other venues. It's fantastic.
That's good.
And that's almost weekly.
And then we've got Bluff, don't forget. We've got Bluff with the distillery down there now.
The jewel in the crown.
Yeah, it is. And of course they've got a great maritime museum as well down there for tourists, but also what they're doing down there with the distillery, the Bluff distillery, the gin and the the salmon and the other bits and pieces down there. So it's really good.
I haven't tried that yet. I don't mind a gin every now and then, but I've yet to try it. But whenever I get any visitors or anybody, we normally go down the Bluff and we go to the around the point. and sit there and look out the window because it's a lovely spot to sit. Often pop up Bluff Hill just to show them Stewart Island so they can actually see it very clearly. Ruapuki Island, Dog Island, of course,
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, and of course you see Te Wai's Invercargill, and you see, see the remarkables pretty much from Bluff Hill.
Oh yeah,
it's great. You can. So now it's fantastic, and we've got a great airport, and there's looking at expansion out there too. Hopefully that could trigger more larger flights.
Yes, right. Yeah, rather just emergency flights that we use.
Well, we do. We're the spillover for Queenstown, of course, as you know.
We did a few months ago. Yeah,
third biggest runway in New Zealand.
Yes.
I mentioned that to so many people.
Yep.
I think part of the reason I mention that to people though is if they're interested in flying, it's a great place to learn to fly because you damn near take off and land on the same runway if anything goes wrong.
Yes.
That's a good point too, rather than looking for So now it's a good. There's just so many positive things. As I say, this here is a fantastic asset. This Invercargill Central.
Oh, it is.
It doesn't matter what the weather's like. You've got a great place to sit, a great place to be.
And East Street now is
very good retailers here.
It's becoming a new Wapna place. It's been a few people upset with what's going on at Wapna Place, but it's so overdue for it. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be great when it's finished.
Absolutely.
And again, our new sort of outdoor area, public gathering space is either, I think, Esk Street because it's now built for that really, and same with Don Street. Again, we've had the night markets along there. Again, it's reconfiguring what works. And the thing is, it's easier to create an outdoor area with Esk or Don now. Whereas you've got the state highway, double lane highway going straight through the middle, which sort of severs off Wapna Place, which is, in my opinion, has never worked as a public space. And it's got ugly and decrepit, so I'm looking forward to the revamp.
Yeah, what would be a good thing that I've sort of always thought about is that if you could ever, like Dunedin did many moons ago, redirect State Highway 1 from D and Tay.
Yeah, yes,
and,
totally.
because you just think you're quite right. You imagine if you did D up, similar to what you've got Esk Street here done up, and what a great precinct that would be, what a great place to have functions because, as we all know, our prevailing wind comes from the southwest. So, but when you're walking down D Street, you've got the protection of the buildings. But Esk Street here, and the one thing that you have noticed since it's been done up is that traffic has slowed. The signs are there too slower. But I think it's just naturally happened, and you don't get the people cruising down there like you used to.
You don't, no.
They're down here with a purpose, and it's working very well as a shared zone, in my view.
I think it's good to keep it shared because I have to say, once I was for closing it completely to traffic, but I'm not. I think now, just on some days when it's a bit quiet, it's just nice to have a couple of vehicles just doing their thing, popping and coming in and going, and it just keeps it a little bit vibrant, especially on a crappy wet day. It's not so good.
No, it's great. I mean, I do pop in and drop stuff off, and got the loading zone there, so I'm delivering stuff. No, it works really well. But one day it'd be quite neat to see D Street done the same. I mean, with the still have access like you're talking about, but limit the access. And I don't know where
the ton down D we can do.
Well, look, you've got. I don't know where you'd redirect it to. That would have to be. It could be Bond Street, maybe. I don't know. And there's been talk of that from time to time. Bypass through the Bluff. We've got the freshest and nicest food available anywhere. We have a happy hour every Friday now, because we're here with the only licensed premises in the mall, and it looks like we're going to be like that for a wee while yet. So we're organising different bar snacks. We're caramel coated chicken wings, wee bit of sesame oil, wee bit of sesame seed, I think a wee hint of soy, and a wee hint of what we call Vietnamese fish sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And so the idea is you get a bucket of those, get a beer. Great beers on tap here, and more in the fridge, and wines, and spirits too, actually.
Even non-alcoholic drinks.
And orange juice,
yes,
and several other juices as well. But basically it's a place. You finish work, 5 o'clock, pop in, have a couple.
There you go.
If you have too many, I can run you home. I'm the coach driver.
Let's chat with Councillor Allan Arnold. Until next week, we'll see you later.